no strength. We were weak.
Yeah.
Right? Through the flesh. Just like it said the law couldn't bring forth the fruit of God's life because of the weakness of the flesh.
Right.
We couldn't be who we really were because of the weakness of the flesh. We could never manifest ourselves as the sons and daughters of God through the flesh, even though we were cut from the rock. It's not like all of a sudden we weren't cut from the rock.
Right, no.
We were cut from the rock, so it wasn't that we lacked being cut from the rock. What we lacked was the strength to be who and what we were. And we were trying to manifest ourselves through the strength of the flesh, and the flesh can't manifest who you are. But God never was dissatisfied with our identity. He always called us his children. He always called us that. Jesus told Peter that he was cut from the rock. Jesus hadn't even died on the cross yet.
Right. Yeah.
Peter was filled with a whole lot of unbelief, man. In fact, it wasn't very long after that Peter rejected Jesus 3 times.
Yeah. Right.
So don't tell me Peter was a believer. And that's why he said it. Jesus was saying it about all people. That's why he said, upon this revelation will my church be built. He wasn't saying upon the revelation that Peter is cut from the rock, but none of you other guys are. He's saying there's a revelation that's going to come to all people. And that I am the representative of the human race. That when they see that I come from the rock, they're going to be reminded of the rock that they've forgotten that they were hewn from. And when they are reminded of the rock from which they were hewn, they're going to be awakened to who and what they really are. And then they're going to receive strength from the rock that they were hewn from to appear as who and what they actually already are. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's good.
Does that make sense, Dwight?
Yeah, that's good.
Pete,
It makes
listen.
a whole bunch of sense.
This kind of stuff is the kind. This is the kind of stuff. I'll just be honest. We're all walking around in the garden, and we hadn't had 2,000 years of bad doctrines. Some of these details aren't that critical. The Spirit brings forth these details because doctrine has gotten so subverted, and to the degree that lots of our doctrines pervert the ability of us to see strength manifest in us by what we think about ourselves.
Yeah.
Right? And so, man, if I go preaching this doctrine, even in most grace churches, they'll become very upset because they don't understand what a new creation is. Right? And so they think the problem was who we were was unacceptable to God.
Right.
But, I mean, you go read Ezekiel 16, and he says he walked by us while we were in our blood.
Yeah.
Well, what does blood mean? Death. It means he walked by us while we were dead in our sin. And you know what it says right after that? And behold, it was the time of love. That's what he says. Now, so is God busy loving something that's evil?
No.
Is God busy saying, well, if I could just change him a little bit, then that'll be good?
No.
No. He's busy loving us. He lost his breath when he saw us, even while we were dead in our sin. For God so agape the world. God so lost his breath when he looked upon the world. The world was dead in their sin when he looked upon them, and yet he called them a treasure. Yet he called them the pearl of great price. And so we can see in that it wasn't our value that needed to be increased. We still possess the same value. It's like, I don't know who said this. I think a bunch of people say it because it's a common thing, so I won't give anybody credit. Maybe the Holy Spirit brought it forth out of somebody. When you find those old coins, you can't, some of those coins you can no longer make out the words or the face.
Right.
You can't make out the face because the face is distorted. Does the coin now lose its value?
No.
The coin has the same value.
Right.
Does the image on the coin now need to be brought out before the value, so the value could be increased? No. That's the same way it is with people. We've confused the gospel, man. And in confusing the gospel, we think it sounds good what we say, and there's some truth to how we say these things. I do believe in a new creation, but I believe we have to define that very carefully. So I do believe a new creation was made, but I think we have to define that very carefully. And I think when we get in the habit of trying to talk about how man's identity was unacceptable to God, we miss the whole point of the gospel.
Sure.
It was unacceptable to God for the people who we call his own to be dead.
Yes.
And that's what was unacceptable to God.
Exactly.
It wasn't our identity.
Yeah.
It wasn't our identity that was unacceptable.
Yeah.